Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Kid Ziggy, and you're watching Phantxm TV right now.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, I'm a bad influence. I need room for improvement. But somebody gotta show me how to do it. I be feeling down and out like I'm useless. Yeah, it made me stop and start.
I would say, so like whenever I was 12, my best friend at the time was like playing electric guitar, and we were like playing Rock Band and Guitar Hero, and I kind of grew up on like video games like that and shit, so I immediately wanted to I begged my mom to take me up to the pawn shop, and she got me a guitar and this like little amp that was like super duper small, cheap little setup, but I just grew up playing guitar and everything. And then I would say what inspired me to start diving into like more hip hop oriented music was probably whenever Wayne dropped the Carter 3. That was probably my biggest probably my biggest hip hop inspiration at the time, like what actually made me want to like start, you know what I mean? So, favorite artist, man, that's so tough. It's hard to put them all. Like as far as like relevant artists right now, my number one is definitely Dizzy Wright on the low, like low key underground. Young Thug, Future have a heavy influence on my melodic sound. Kid Leroy as of recently a lot too. I really fuck with Kid. But honestly, like Bob Marley from like a very like spiritual aspect too. I feel like I've always dove heavily into all of his shit as well. I'm super into like Earth, Wind, and Fire. As far as when I like started making music and putting shit out on the internet for people to listen to, I've been doing it since I was like 14. I came out like 8th grade summer. We came out with this diss track from this kid that was in high school or whatever. Or technically we were freshmen, yeah. But yeah, and we weren't taking it serious or anything, you know what I mean? We had like a talent show and all that shit. We won. Like we took that shit seriously. But like whenever shit really started getting serious for me, man, probably whenever I signed to ISO Music here in Springfield, Illinois. Whenever I signed up at ISO, shit started getting serious because it was right around the end of our time there. Whenever we started booking shows and shit, like man, people were showing up, man. Like we had packed house shoulder to shoulder. I was bringing energy with Zipper Collective. That was like a very I would say that's whenever shit started really getting serious, and I was like, whoa, okay, I really got to focus on my craft and what I'm bringing and the energy I'm bringing. And I take my music really seriously, so I mean this when I say this. The first song that like really hit home to me was man, off of me and Papa Luke's You Got and Smoke album. There's a song on there called Nose Blind, and it was the first time I laid down all the guitars you hear on that track. I laid down all the bass guitars you hear on that track, and I engineered it and mastered it, mixed it. I did it all like in about a 2-hour sitting and just kind of threw it together. And if you go listen to the track, it sounds like something like alternative. We were young, and it's definitely like the quality difference and everything is obviously changed, but that song means a lot to me because it's super raw, and the shit I'm talking about was pretty depressing. I would say When It Rains is got to be up there too, because I was in a pretty low spot whenever I made that one. That was I needed to get that shit off my chest. So, and I'm sure that's a feeling that a lot of people can relate to. So, that one's probably my number one, When It Rains. Nose Blind's probably number 2. Man, the number 3 is gonna be tough though. Probably Fashion Nova, man, because it's got all the homies on it. It's got a lot of history to the song. Honestly, I feel like I don't like to really have barriers around my music, you know what I mean? Like, I can't blame people for calling me a rapper or thinking that I am a rapper, because I put out 2 hip-hop. Well, there is some R&B in both the albums, if we're being honest. Like, I've always let it be known that I'm a singer, but I feel like all the songs that really popped off for me were primarily hip-hop, and I made hip-hop for like 2 years. Like, 2 years consistently, and was always promoting that, So I don't blame people for calling me a rapper, but I grew up on singing, like I was very like professionally trained. I was at madrigals, IMEA, like honors choir. I was in musicals, all that shit. Like I grew up singing. That's really where it's at. So my primary genre is probably hip hop and R&B. I'm trying to lean more heavily on like R&B, more on the pop side of things, just because like, I'm just trying to showcase my talent like that. But I have the most fun making hip hop music. But fuck, I got a country song. I got like more of a screamo type song. Like they have some hip hoppy feels to it, but I feel like as far as genres, man, I like to bend genres. I like to not really like be encased or have any barriers around me. I like to break through the box. So growing up and shit, I feel like I kind of always had support in almost anything I did. But whenever it came to music and everything, it kind of, since it started off as such a hobby, I don't think anybody really started taking it seriously. I mean, I always have, and all my homies always did too. Like you can ask any of them that from the jump. Whenever we started doing this shit, it was like a dream. We were chasing a dream, but it was always hard to get my parents on board with everything that was going on until they noticed I was never gonna freaking quit. Like whenever they noticed I wasn't gonna quit, that's whenever they're like, okay, shit, maybe we should start popping out to some shows. Maybe we should start actually giving the music a listen. You know what I mean? Now I feel like I got more support than ever. But growing up, it was just like, how the hell am I gonna be able to like prove myself in this? And especially with hip hop and R&B, I grew up in Taylorville, Illinois. Graduated at Rochester, Illinois. If you do any research at all, it's just, it's right outside the Springfield area, so I'm not a sheltered kid, you know what I mean? I've done a lot of traveling and everything, but I feel like where I come from, it's a lot of very sheltered people who aren't really ready for someone that's like loud and like, really likes to express himself on a public level, but I like to do it in a positive way, you know what I mean? So, but I've done it for so long now, it's dope to see people finally, it's kind of cool to see people catching on because they know that I'm not going to stop doing this shit. And, now the goal is just to keep pushing forward, though. The odds are against me at all points, but I feel like since a young and growing up now, all I've really done is just kind of prove that there's a reason to take my ass serious. I feel like the talent's there and everything else, and now I'm just hungry. I'm hungry. I think what makes me unique is 100% my image, you know what I mean? Like, I've always taken pride in, I paint my nails, my hair is dreaded. My dreads are more of a spiritual thing for me than than an appearance. But, the way I dress, the way I look, all that, I feel like based, if you were to just look at me, a lot of people, like, judge a book by the cover. They think I'm a bad person or something. Like, I get that shit all the time. I think it's whack, because if you really know who I am, I'm a solid human being. All I promote is positivity and love, man. In the past, I feel like I've got so much work with Zipper, and I'm, a very collaborative type of artist. I kind of always have been. That's what I have fun doing, but coming up in the future, man, I just recently signed a distribution deal. It was a solo kind of deal, and I'm curious to know what kind of lane I'm going to be able to pave in the future, just based off of that alone. Like, I'm going to have a lot more solo music. You're going to hear some singles from me. Obviously, since I signed the deal, I'm going to be working on dropping an album soon. Big, heavy hitting features coming soon too. If you follow me on anything, I be teasing that shit all the time. But yeah, in the future, what to expect from me, man. Get ready for the album. Get ready for some big time features, some dope videos. And low key, I'll be on Twitch all the time. I know not everybody out there probably watches video games and shit, but we're building a cool little community on Twitch. And honestly, I do like little live sessions on there where I just record, and some of the shit that I be recording will be on the albums, and I put that shit out, man. So you tune into Twitch, you're gonna see a lot of the raw shit behind the scenes before the shit ever really gets polished and put out. So man, I stay busy, get ready for some new shit all year long, man.
It made me stop, made me start. Need a double cup of that wine.